Gaming Today presents Hash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, the last show of February. Oh, man. February is an interesting time in the sports book. We got to find stuff to talk about. We got a lot of things going on. We're getting ready for March Madness. It's just one of those weeks where we're going to kind of just wing it and let it fly. In studio today, I have Alan Berg. AB, what's up?
Hello, everyone. It's XFL season.
XFL. We're going to get to that in a minute. On the phone later will be Motoi Pearson. He's at Heed These Takes. He will have takes. Don't know what Mo's going to be doing. But we're going to see how this works from we used to do this show from the dungeon you guys were in before back in the day. I was at home sometimes. I was in our book sometimes.
They don't realize the mess we really came from, and this is actually kind of convenient thanks to Reynolds. So,
Yeah, speaking of Reynolds, I am Reynolds2305 on Twitter, the producer of the show, the glue guy of the show. He has it all connected, power sources, board, headphones, microphones. It's like a real show.
AKA the only guy I don't hate.
Thanks, AB.
Sure, no problem.
Mother. There's not a lot of hate.
It's coursing through my veins.
Before we get to the format of the show today, we're going to discuss the fight, Wilder Fury, and it was just amazing. And AB was there, so we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk some football because we have to, because that's what carries the show. That's what carries the business.
Oh, yeah.
It's football, football, football. So we're going to mention that. Get to some basketball, both NBA and college. I'm going to force some hockey onto everybody. Just a quick mention. Doesn't have to be a lot, but maybe, 3 minutes of ice time with
We got to
Dave.
talk about the Zamboni guy.
That's what the notes are right here. That's a great story. Mention some other things, some crazy bets maybe we saw this week. We didn't, whatever. And then we'll get out of here. So that's the format of the show. Before we get to the fight, I have a question for you regarding the XFL.
Can't wait.
Can you name all 8 teams right now without looking?
Absolutely.
You can name cities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nicknames.
You want me to do it?
I absolutely want you to do it.
Okay, St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, Houston Roughnecks, Dallas Renegades, Tampa Bay Vipers, DC Defenders, New York Guardians, and I'm missing one.
One more.
Might
have
got me.
I'll give you the city.
Hold on. LA Wildcats.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
All right. That's our XFL coverage.
What? No, this is brutal. Come on. Games are good this week.
Were they?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Why? Because they were back and forth, a couple of them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. The Wildcats, nobody thought they were going to win the game, and I was giving that out in the room.
Yeah.
And, my dude Errol had them on the money line, so he was pumping his fist. And
nice.
I had them on the money line also, tied to a loser. So just like last weekend, I keep hitting the plus money lines and then lose this point spread bets. It's unreal.
Right.
Yeah. I heard that the Houston kid that's been tearing it up, PJ Walker.
Yeah.
You know him? I heard a rumor that XFL is going to try to pay him to keep him in the league.
Wow.
Which I think is a really great idea, because that's all the league really has to do is pay the quarterbacks that are good, and that'll help the league a lot.
But why would a quarterback want to stay there and get paid?
Okay. So say they offer him a 2-year deal for $15 million.
Oh, $15 million.
Well,
that's a reason to stay.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying.
Reasons
I'm saying
are they going to pay that?
I don't know. I'm curious to see what the worth is, but because I think it's actually a smart move that if they can keep the guys that people want to come see play, that may or may not ever be an NFL caliber starter, it's not a bad plan, I think.
Yeah, and it may be a better plan for that guy to stay there and play than go to Jacksonville.
To be the third string, maybe
whatever.
second, and then you get into a game, and then everybody gets to see that, he's not really as good as we thought he might be.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll be, maybe he will actually get better, and he is this talented, and he'll be an NFL starter someday. But he's going to have to go through that level of grind. But I mean, if you can make $7 million a year playing in the XFL,
not a bad deal.
That's a pretty good gig, I think. Be the star of the league.
It almost sounds like kind of a path that guys took in the Canadian Football League years ago. Warren Moon. Comes to mind, something like that. Joe Theismann.
Well, and the other thing is if they are willing to do those type of investments, which I think are smart investments, imagine that the few guys who maybe went to college and were starters and were pretty good, maybe they'd rather play in the XFL than play, maybe make a practice squad or maybe, be the third string for, the Tennessee Titans, and they could actually start in a league and get better. So it's an interesting idea, I think, moving forward.
It is. What does that do for the league now, though? Like, it's really a tough spot for the XFL to continue to grow. And
Battlehawks are sold out.
Yeah, there's always.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the key to this whole thing, right? Is they have to find the areas that are willing to embrace it, regardless of record or all these things. And so far, they've found a few. I mean, DC's numbers are good. I don't think LA's are, which doesn't surprise me. They don't even like the NFL teams.
Right.
Obviously, St. Louis wants an NFL team back, so they're loving it. Seattle's been decent. I think it's just a good sports city more than anything. Until the Mariners have been garbage, but that's another story for another day. And then, I just think there's other areas. Like the San Antonio team in the AAF did really well in attendance. And I think that's probably a market that they'll go after next year because they couldn't this year because of, the fact that AAF just happened.
Right. Okay.
It's cool. We can move on.
Yeah. Betting on it, though?
It's great. You talk about spinning some dice, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like. Yeah. It's for the real diehard or D-gen or football action junkie.
All in my wheelhouse, Dave.
Right. Excellent. I'll tell you this. I still don't think it'll be popular because you can gamble on it. It's just an accessory benefit of it. That's I think them pushing the gambling agenda. It's just too much for me. But again, we put it up. You take bets on it. It's fine.
Did your guy? Our handle I think grew this week. Did your guys?
Ours went down.
Yours went down. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It was overshadowed Saturday. We saw nothing. I mean, the fight, which we're going to get to in a second, was amazing.
Oh yeah.
As far as handle.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to mention the NFL.
Okay.
Combine. Will you watch it?
I will watch definite parts of it. Yes.
Okay.
I'm a
I
sick
will not
freak.
watch a second of it. Zero.
Yeah.
Unless something happens that is on clips that I'll
well,
see on
I mean,
social
I
media or
usually
something
watch
like
the
that,
whole
but-
thing through clips nowadays
Okay.
because I don't have like regular TV.
Okay.
Right. Or time.
Time is an issue.
Yeah. So.
NFL draft props. You guys had one up. You took it down right now with the Tua thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where he will go, which team?
Yeah, we had which team to draft him. Just real quick rundown. We did Dolphins, Lions, Chargers, Bengals, Panthers, Jags, Bucks, Raiders, Colts, Redskins, Broncos, Patriots, Saints, Titans, and Field.
Field?
Yes.
Where's the Steelers? They're in the field?
They're in the field.
Oh, man.
They don't have
Tua's
a first
gonna
round
look great
pick.
in black
So.
and gold. Oh, yeah, and they won't trade up. That's right. They got Minka and Fitzpatrick. That's their number one draft pick.
Correct. So, but right now we had to take it down because, the medicals and whatnot are happening, I think either today or tomorrow, and that could really affect where Tua might end up if they he's got some degenerative issues in his hip or his knee or God knows how many times his kid's been hurt. He could all of a sudden drop to the middle of the pack or I can't see with the new era of quarterback where they don't have to give you the Bradford money where it's like $50 million up front. That'll keep him higher than
biggest heist ever.
Years were. Yeah, I mean,
was unbelievable.
Man, the crazy thing about him was I always felt like he was actually talented. He just could never stay on the field, which is funny because it feels a lot like Tua to me. Yeah. But I don't think Bradford really had injury problems in college, which is crazy.
But you go in and play in the NFL and get hit like you never got hit before.
Exactly.
Against grown men.
That's why I think he's such a risk.
Yeah.
You know? That's why I just have a hard time. Everybody's putting him at 3 and at 5, and I'm like, I get it. You want a quarterback, but I mean, man,
You got to have an offensive line. You have to have an offensive line. The NFL has ruined a lot of good college quarterbacks because they went to organizations that didn't have an offensive line and got hit, hurt, couldn't recover.
And then your mental
pressure to get back. You're mentally shot. You know, you're seeing ghosts, whatever. All the things. I mean, it happens to everyone, and it's a lot of fun when you're able to, sit behind USC's offensive line and play in the Pac-12 and throw
Wisconsin,
balls all over the
you're
place.
You're like looking at your watch and then throwing the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you think, I know you guys are probably going to have to do it extensively, but the draft props and stuff.
Oh, we're going to have a ton of them, I'm sure.
Right. With it being here, it's going to be.
At Caesars.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting as far as handle. Like, it's going to blow up in a lot of places. I think with people having that option so easily available.
I'm curious because what sucks is that as of this moment, we have to shut everything off 24 hours before the draft.
Oh,
and that's statewide,
sucks. Right?
Which I get it. I think there's certain ones that make sense, but I think there's others we probably should be able to leave on the board. But I don't make these rulings,
right?
So, but I guarantee you, that's going to be a thing in the book where people are like, "Wait a minute, what do you mean I can't bet on this stuff?"
I'm really glad I'm not going to be in the book.
Yeah, I feel bad for the
I
Soups.
feel bad
man.
for the Soups, and the writers are going to be answering questions that they can't.
And then I
answer.
think in the other states maybe we won't have that issue, which is weird. But I mean, there's just so many different regulations for different states and what they can and can't book, and it's pretty crazy.
Yep.
But
oh my. All right. Real quick, let's do some NBA real fast before we get to Mo.
I love it.
College basketball. Couple big games on the slate tonight. The show drops on Tuesday, and Milwaukee is at Toronto tonight.
Big game.
After having to,
I never say regular seasons are a big game.
I know, but it is.
Yeah.
Milwaukee hung on and beat Washington yesterday in overtime.
Beal? Man.
Back-to-back 50 burgers, right? What is that? Milwaukee's a 1.5 or 1 point favorite at Toronto today on a back-to-back.
And just had to battle. Yeah.
It seems bizarre. Like the line, I thought Toronto would be favored.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really did.
I don't know if I would go. I don't think they've earned that yet. And I think in the spot, I think it's, I mean, the big streak they had was against a bunch of teams they're supposed to beat. But that's what makes them good, is that they take care of the teams they're supposed to beat. But the Bucks are really good, though.
49-8, baby, the Bucks
are.
49-8.
That's what I mean. They've lost 8 games, dude.
Clinched a playoff.
Clinched the playoff berth. Reynolds chimes in, and they did. When you look at the standings, they have the X next to their name at the 57-game mark of the season. Clinched the playoff spot.
The ball Giannis has been playing after winning the MVP last year, and he's even better this year. Yep. It's unreal.
It really is. The other big game tonight, Zion at the Lakers. Pelicans, Lakers, 7.5 is the spread. Oh,
Zion, if you can put LeBron on a poster, I'm gonna hang your poster up in here, guaranteed. Please.
Can you believe what he's doing?
He's amazing.
He's
so good.
Amazing.
Yeah. He is literally, to me, the best college / high school player I have seen since LeBron.
Yes.
Like, it's just
the
physical abilities of that kid is off the charts.
In anything that was maybe going to be a problem going to the pros, like, being able to just kind of throw the ball up against the backboard and miss it and then go get it and dunk it or get it and put it back up because he was a man among boys in college or in high school.
Yeah.
And you thought, well, he ain't going to be able to do that in the NBA. He's doing it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The Pelicans are working their way slowly back into the playoff picture. Is Zion working his way back to the Rookie of the Year award? I mean, Jaws minus $5.
How-
Zion is plus 260.
You can't give him the award if he hasn't even played half the season. It's just not. You know what I mean?
Have, if he finishes this out, he will have played half the
He
season.
will have played half the season.
If
versus
Jaw
a
got hurt,
kid that plays that. Well, I'm saying that's the only shot I feel like he's really got. If they give the award to Zion over him, that's just ridiculous.
if Jaw plays the whole
Yeah,
season.
if he plays 82 games
Right.
and then this guy plays what would he end up with, Dave? Like 43?
40s, yeah, mid-40s.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
half,
come on. That's a half year.
The odds are starting. I mean, people were betting.
Well, of course people are betting them. Of
I
course.
know.
They're like,
They bet him
yeah.
before.
I'm just saying
So-
it's a travesty to give a Rookie of the Year award when you've played half a year.
Yeah. But stranger things have happened. That's the
That is
bullshit
true.
of it all, right?
That is true,
Like,
man.
I mean, you start to see some of the crazy calls and stuff. I mean, like that Saturday game that the Mavericks filed a protest over. Did you see that goaltending call and all this stuff? You were probably at the fight.
Oh no, the Laker game? Is there
no,
something?
it
Or
was
what was
Mavericks Hawks. Mavericks had a
it? No, yeah.
18-point halftime lead, 12 in the fourth quarter, and the Hawks started coming back, and then there was a call, and then there was another call. There was a goaltend. They stopped the play, but they let the play continue for a second.
Oh,
So
replays ruined
the
everything, man.
putback went in, and
Everything.
then they stopped it. They reviewed it. Both broadcast teams, both cities said, "Oh, that's goaltending. They'll just do a jump ball. It was an inadvertent whistle. Clear."
Yeah.
The ref comes out and says, "Yeah, it was goaltending, but the putback was good, so the basket counts, and then it's, Dallas's ball." And everybody was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They filed a protest right after the game. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I know. What is that?
Yeah,
What
it
is that?
doesn't-
Yeah.
Again, these protests are funny. Like, okay, they're going to go back and play the last, 72
Yeah.
seconds of the game
Yeah.
or whenever it happened. No,
Oh,
it's a loss for
Yeah.
the Mavericks. So, I don't know. Looking at, we continue to look at the playoff picture. I mean, the Sixers, again, they're right there in that 5-4 spot. Miami's looking like they just lost yesterday to a bad loss, but it happens. Celtics, Lakers Sunday.
Good
Did you
game.
see-
I saw
really good
quite
game.
a bit
Yeah.
of that one, yeah.
Told me that the Celtics are a viable contender.
Yeah.
in the
Jason
East.
Tatum is
Was
just playing out of his
amazing.
mind, man.
It's 21.
I know. What's crazy is
21?
that he regressed a little last year, and then they were starting to be like, I don't know, should we trade him? And it's like,
Yeah.
good thing they didn't.
He's 21.
Yeah, I know.
Like all this, like you got to be LeBron.
Well, that's
right
the thing
away.
when you
Like,
go
what-
when you go up the mountain so fast, because his whole thing was he had this incredible playoff run 2 years ago, and then then he had these really high expectations for his second season, and he came down, didn't play as well. It didn't look like he was the same player, and all this stuff.
Man, it's so hard. It's talking about talking with somebody about betting the NBA, and we've talked about this. It is really a spot thing, and
Totally.
I mean, I saw it on Saturday when the Mavericks played at Atlanta. They sat Luka right after the All-Star break. You got to sit. Something's up. The line was 6, and then it wasn't
Yeah,
because then Porzingis wasn't playing,
yeah,
and all of a sudden the game was pick.
yeah.
But the bets beat us to the 6. We didn't know.
Mm.
And it's just one of those things now you really have to be careful going forward betting the NBA. There's teams that aren't trying. Call it tanking. Call it whatever you want. They're throwing lineups out there to lose.
Right.
They're not saying it. You see these days where there's 8 games on the slate. 7 favorites cover. They cover double digits. It's nothing. You really got to be selective going forward and betting the NBA because I think you bet games that are competitive. Celtics, Lakers, and find value in taking points or laying a short number. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
tough.
yeah. And setting numbers and things. I'm obsessed with the futures market. The Western Conference is shaping up with the bottom. The Lakers are going to have to play the Grizzlies, the Trailblazers, or the Pelicans in the first round, most likely. Not an easy task. They're going to have a harder road. The Bucks get the Bucks are going to get the Magic, or the Wizards are playing their way in
Oh,
behind
incredible.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
It'll be a sweep, and then they may get another sweep depending on who the 4 or 5 may end up being, and they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals and get Toronto or Boston. That'll be the first real test.
Probably where it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Bet NBA at your own peril. Let's just leave it at that. It's
if you're
really
betting that
hard.
every day, you might need to reassess some things.
Yeah, you really got to grind there.
Yeah.
But all right, before we get to some college, let's mention the Digital Gaming Today subscription. It's only $6.95 a month, or there's a yearly annual special. You can get it for $75 for the year. But with that, you get award-winning content analysis, stats, picks, casino industry news, and more. You get a Don Best feed with real-time lines and scores from 6 Vegas sportsbooks, links to casino deals and sportsbook app signups. You even get the Gaming Today newspaper in digital form. Just go to gamingtoday.com/register. All right, let's move on to some college basketball talk. Alan has leaned back in his chair.
Yeah, okay,
joining us in studio, Howard
Yeah.
Barish, HB. What's up?
Good morning, fellas.
There he is. And on the phone, Motoi Pearson at Heed These Takes on Twitter. Mo, what's up?
Hey, what's the deal, man? I gotta obviously I had to be at work for this deal, but I always have to be on here, man. You know the deal.
Okay. Well, real quick, for the listeners that don't know, you were in Lexington witnessing the Kentucky game over the weekend. How was that?
Yeah, man, it was insane. Just to be at a place like Rupp, and I'm obviously a big college basketball guy, so as soon as I got in there, and it was a little different from Thomas and Mack, considering that the place was packed. It's been a while since I've seen that at the Thomas and Mack, but it was great, and the experience was great, and the people were great. So, yeah, man, it was insane.
Not to mention the uncomfortable amount of money you had on Kentucky's money line got there, so that made the whole trip worthwhile.
Yeah, without question. I mean, I was obviously I didn't want to lay any points, and I had a couple drinks. By a couple, I mean
couple?
a lot. But yeah, so I mean, it was.
I'll go over on a couple. How's that? I'll go over.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of
course.
All right.
Missed free throws to Mo's beer. What was the spread?
I think I'd have to do more calculating.
So, all right, Mo. We've been talking, and I've been giving you credit for saying San Diego State was never going to lose from back in the day when they were like 12-0. I think maybe even 13-0, something like that. They go home as a 14-point favorite this weekend. We took down San Diego State. UNLV beat San Diego State outright.
Yeah.
One, I know you probably didn't see it, but two, does that preclude San Diego State from being a 1 seed?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
one
even
loss,
to
you're
make a
out.
late
That's it.
push, yeah.
Okay.
Even to make a late push in the Mountain West tournament, it just seems hard right now if they didn't run the table to get that 1 seed. That it seemed like they were going to get part of that loss.
HB, does that make Dayton a possible now 1 seed?
I think so.
The realistic expectation now, they win out, they win the A10 tourney. They're number 1 seed?
I think you have to look at schedule and quadrant opponents, and this one is really damaging.
Yeah. So not only did we take down San Diego State boys, but we took down Gonzaga, losing to BYU over the weekend. We took down Baylor, who lost to Kansas, number 1, number 3. There's no shame in that one. Took down Penn State. Got excited about Penn State. Yeah, they're going to be, possibly a 3 seed, this and that. They go and lose 2 road games, or lose a home game and a road game in the Big Ten. They're going backwards. Pretty much 15th, 16th in the country. In Maryland,
Yes.
who we mentioned that could possibly be the other team we thought would win the Big Ten.
Although Maryland played very well, I watched that game.
Yeah.
Ohio State hit like 20 free throws.
Yeah.
And did everything perfectly down the stretch. So I wouldn't give it as much of a derogatory mark against Maryland as it was a great win for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. No, and again, the Big Ten is we talked about it earlier, Mo, on the show, about how hard it is to pick NBA games in basketball right now with what's going on and, like, teams tanking and, who's what, trying to gain an identity of what team is good. Big Ten is a complete microcosm of all of college basketball where almost anybody can beat almost anybody on any given night.
Right. And what was funny was last week, or maybe even the last 2 weeks, we were saying on the show that things have seemed to have settled down.
Yeah.
You know, people have found stride. Teams
Right.
have found stride.
Yeah.
They're winning. Things are falling into place. And then this past weekend happens, and it's a jumble of shit.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. So, Mo, you're at work. You got any steam moves today that you saw? I mean, it's a Tuesday. We got North Carolina at home against NC State. The line looks like a trick. It's only -2. I mean, what do you make of a game like that where, NC State is playing to get in? North Carolina's not playing for anything. 10-17, North Carolina. Almost impossible to believe. Do you see anything in that game? Something like that?
Yeah, it's funny. It was the last game I looked at before I actually walked out and got with you guys here. Yeah, I mean, obviously, NC State lost to North Carolina in their first go-around. I think NC State was a small favorite at home. North Carolina won by maybe 6 or 7. I don't remember the score for sure. I know they won.
Yeah, North
NC
Carolina
State
won, and the line closed. NC State -5.
Okay, nice. So, yeah, NC State obviously blows up Duke by 20, turns around and loses to, was it Florida State? I can't name like they're obviously trying to make a run right now. I think being the last 4 in after that Duke win. So it's definitely a big win for them no matter what. I still think UNC is going to come out and play hard. Somehow they keep losing a lot of these games at the last moment, in the last few seconds. I still think it's going to be a pretty legit game. And the line seems like it's going to settle at 2 for the most part. Yeah, I don't have much bearing into it, but NC State should, kind of cling on and kind of hang in there to win a game like this.
Okay. All right. So, NC State. For the Tuesday listeners, there's your play from Mo. NC State, small. What do you think about the Laker game, Mo? We did the NBA real quick. Lakers home against Pelicans, -7.5.
Man. I can't even tell. I mean, as far as like the Pelicans, I'm not sure if they play any defense. I feel like that's the only thing I know about that team as it is. The Lakers to get geared up and play after the Memorial. That stuff still kind of lingers on. I think I've seen some steam on the Pelicans early here at work. I can't trust the Pelicans.
Lakers.
It's just a personal thing. Yeah. It's either Lakers or die, but
Lakers
I
or
wouldn't tell anyone
die.
to just
There it
to
is.
get down on something like that.
What's interesting is, Mo, they meet again Sunday in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And Lakers are playing the night before Saturday in Memphis. So they're playing the teams fighting for their playoff lives.
Nice. Possible first-round matchups. Nice.
We'll see how the
What's the-
Grizzlies
what's the
look. They
pro-
got blasted in the last time they played the Lakers.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really just got smoked last. Oh, smoke! You guys see that?
Bo, are you a Kentucky fan now after having been there? Are you
Oh
converted?
man, I don't think I can be a Kentucky fan. I don't think I can do that. But
Are
I
you a
definitely
fan
live
of
in
the
moment.
bourbon? Are you a fan of the bourbon?
Yeah. I'm a fan. Like Lexington is. I'm a fan of Lexington. It's just like it's a nice place. It's a very nice place, man. I don't know if I would tell people to just go there just on their own, whatever. But
Did you go?
maybe it was just that weekend. It was insane.
Did you go check out any of the horse farms?
No. Actually, it's funny. Everyone that I met, or people that that Lindy knew, they were adamant, and they told me it was imperative that I came back and went to one of their Keeneland formals, where like everyone just goes and gets absolutely hammered, and then to get down on action, and it's just a crazy event, man. I was like, all right, I might come back. I don't know.
You got
I
a
don't know,
suit to wear?
yeah, I can buy one. I think I can. I think I can scrape up enough change to afford one.
Okay.
Maybe.
You got to go on a
I
run.
just wear a blazer and shorts.
Yeah, you could do that.
Shorts
Yeah.
and a blazer, no shirt underneath.
Uh-oh.
My style. That's always dressed in Vegas.
Will you be making any
myself.
horse plays?
Yeah, without question. I told them I'm bringing everything.
Mo, I'll send you the horse plays. You just show up and drink.
Oh,
That's fair. That's good. That's all right. It's done. That's all right.
that's gonna do it for the college basketball talk. I don't know where else to go. It's just. Do you got anything you want to address, Mo, before we move on? As far as a conference, a team, something you want to look at before you do, Howard just raised his hand. We're going to have him jump in first.
Did we say anything about San Diego State coming back tonight, laying the 13.5 against Colorado State?
Oh, it's an automatic lay,
man.
right? Mo?
Yeah. It seems like I like under in that game.
Yeah?
What do you
I
think,
don't know.
Alan?
It just,
Whatever it is, I don't want either side.
He just leaned back in the chair. Headphones are coming off.
That's
right.
okay.
I'm like halfway.
that might be the move. Just not play it.
Just not play
The
it.
no
Yeah.
play might be the
13.5 is the number. Colorado State's 19-10. San Diego State coming off the home loss. I think it's a
move.
lay
I can't
myself.
stand Colorado State. I can't
Nobody
do Colorado
can.
State. I'm not
Also,
a fan.
Utah State's on the bubble watch, and they're laying 22 to San Jose State tonight. They may win by 50.
22.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a big number
a
for
lot,
a college
yeah.
basketball game. My goodness. All right, Tuesday listeners, you got a couple bonus plays there. Just laying some chalk, but I don't know. Those seem like right sides. I mean, this
Yeah,
is
we're
the,
in the conference champions start the conference championships for all these smaller conferences and just in general. They start next week. So
Yeah, Mountain
here
West
at
is
Circa,
early.
yeah, March 1st.
Yep.
When they start.
God,
But
finally.
we're gonna start putting those up here shortly at Circa for anybody that knows and wants to get down. So, obviously I'll get with Metcalf and those guys, and we'll figure out a couple lines that people will want to shop around and get towards probably the next few days. So
Will
probably
there,
a bigger thing I definitely wanted to talk about.
Mo, will there be futures on the conference tournaments to win the conference tournament?
Yeah.
And
correct.
will you guys do those cool theoretical hold things you do?
Yeah, that might be in the works. Yeah,
There you
you
go.
might want to stay tuned. Everyone
Circa
in the world.
Sports. We
that's
love
listening
these
to
guys.
this.
We love them.
all right. So let's move on to the fight. Mo was battling. Mo was out post conference or post Kentucky game. I mean, and I don't know if you saw the fight. We'll get to that in a second. But Alan was there covering the fight for Gaming Today. Howard, did you see the fight?
No, I saw
Okay,
the
you just saw the
highlights,
highlights?
and
Okay.
I saw the costumes.
Mo, did you see the fight?
No,
Okay.
I did not. I was just following along on Twitter.
Did you call
I was
Alan during the
basically-
fight?
Yes, I did. I know I did.
It's a true story. Tried to
I know
face,
I answered him.
he tried to FaceTime video, and I was like, man, I hate him so much.
No, I don't know what to do, man. I'm incapable of reading at that moment. I could not. I was like, I gotta see this guy's face. I didn't know what's going on.
All right. Well, I saw the fight. I saw the entrances. I saw the bets all weekend. And Saturday was incredible.
Oh,
The
man.
line went from -120. First of all, the weigh-in. Were you at the weigh-in?
Yeah, absolutely. It was
Describe the
incredible.
way. Mo, hit your phone on mute real quick if you could. It's a little loud in the back. Just mute your thing in the back. Perfect. Tell me about the weigh-in.
It was great.
It was
It was a
electric.
frenzy. Yeah,
it was, right?
there was lines for beers at the
Yeah?
weigh-in. Like
You'd
they were like
never see that.
30 people deep. Like I'm going, this
Wow.
is incredible. Like the amount of seats that they set up, they had to start putting people like to where they were almost getting to the middle of the ring, like where the ring was. Because
Wow.
normally it's like a quarter of the arena,
Yeah.
and it was almost expanding to the point where it's going to be half the arena without obviously floor seats other than media. So, I took like an early image of it, and we were like a half hour out, and I mean, it just kept going, like the videos I put on Twitter.
Right.
Awesome videos, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And the crowd was doing chanting for
Yeah,
Fury, and there was a big chant of you big Dosser.
Yeah.
They kept chanting. And I'm like, this is great, man. This is weigh-in. Like, I was like, this is incredible. And like we talked last episode about how I was like, I think they'll be for Fury. And I didn't realize he was going to get as much UK support as he did. And I mean, I knew he would have a bunch of it. I just didn't think it would be so overwhelming. Because when you were in the arena Saturday night, I mean, you talk about a pro Fury crowd. I mean, there were Wilder fans definitely sprinkled throughout the arena, but man, he was the fan favorite without question.
When they weighed in, the line and the bets came flying on
Did they
Wilder.
really?
273?
Because see, I warned the guys at work, like, be on top of it as soon as like he gets on the scale and see what happens. I was like, don't move unless you get a bet. But if you get anything like good, like from a respected player,
Yeah.
I'm like, move a little extra and take something back, and then we'll
Right.
go from there. But because they said he thought, like, himself, which I always feel like the fighter's usually a little bit better at knowing where they're going to be on the weights, and the trainers are always like hoping for less. So when Fury said, I expect to be the 270, 273, I didn't bat an eye at. I was like, he hit his weight, the weight he wanted. And at that weight, I didn't think anything of it. But that's interesting. You said you had bets. The guys told me we didn't get anything. And I looked across the board when I left the weigh-in, and all the lines were basically the same.
Right. We went up. We got bets immediately. Like, it was a 10-dimer or something like that. Somebody laid 20 or 25, whatever it was, went to 30. And then I'll tell you what, over the weekend.
Oh, the weekend money was
crazy.
insane.
I mean, you want to talk about Fury having a backing in here. They weren't at the windows.
No, they weren't.
They weren't betting. They came for the event. They came for the fight. The people that came to bet the fight came to bet on Wilder.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we saw tons of money.
Yeah.
And then big money.
Yeah.
Saturday, somebody showed up, wanted to bet $50,000 on Wilder to, to 52 to win 40, whatever it was.
To my knowledge, I think we only took one 5-figure bet on Fury, and we took quite a few on Wilder.
Okay.
Can I ask what you guys think about why this occurred? I mean, we're not talking about two decorated fighters. Is there a thirst for heavyweight boxing and betting on it? What I mean, these aren't tremendous fighters. These are, in our generation, these are pretty good fighters.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think Wilder fits what you're saying. I do not at all think Tyson Fury is not one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen.
But I think about Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe in the last 25 or 30 years, and I can name, I think, 8 or 9 guys that could beat these guys, in my opinion.
Wow.
But I'm back to
Wilder. Wilder, yes. Wilder is at best at this point in his career a top 20 heavyweight.
But back to why do you think the betting was so severe and enthusiastic?
One, because it was here.
But we did a lot of handle on the LA fight when they fought in LA. It was close enough.
We did too.
I think when it goes to New York, that's when the handle kind of comes down.
Right.
And there's definitely a thirst for heavyweight boxing. I think it's just, because of the deep history of that division, and it was always what ruled boxing, and then it became about who's a character, and it was like Manny Pacquiao was a character, Floyd Mayweather was a character, Oscar De La Hoya was the golden boy, and he had that nice mix of being American but also with a Hispanic, Mexican heritage, and so he was easy to sell. And then but yeah, I mean, there hasn't really been any great heavyweights since the 90s. The Klitschko era, I mean, he was a great heavyweight. He just wasn't exciting. And, his fights were, for lack of a better term, boring.
The big bum dusser is selling the fight.
Oh, absolutely. He's
Fury
a character.
is a dream.
Yeah.
As far as you love him or hate him, but you got to watch.
But he's fantastic.
He is
so good, dude.
right.
Like, he dominated Deontay Wilder. Like, that fight was not close at all, and it was because of his boxing ability. No,
I didn't think so either.
No, he got
we were
swept.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, I stopped scoring it like the round before when he got dropped the second time. I'm like, there's no point in keeping round by round. This fight's Wilder needs a knockout,
right?
Or he needs to start knocking him down to get back in the scorecards.
But generally, this was great for boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
It was a massive draw. I mean, a lot of it has to do with they're kind of benefiting from how there isn't much people will invest in on television anymore. And I think that has helped increase the profiles of things like UFC and boxing, where it was hard for them to get ESPN or network television because they had all these shows and all this stuff, but you can watch so many things on demand. You can steal it off the internet and all this. And I mean, while people are still stealing fights, the general public isn't going to go through the trouble. They're going to get interested and buy it, and then they're involved. Top Rank did a phenomenal job promoting Fury and getting him more Americanized with his, questionable opponents, obviously, for the two fights, but he was working his way back from a lot of health problems and mental issues. So I think the whole thing just came together awesome, and then Fury just put on an epic performance. I mean, he just smashed Wilder. It wasn't close.
So, for those of you that didn't see it, they came in elaborate ways.
The Fury entrance was unbelievable.
They carried him in as the king and in a big throne and all this stuff, and he sat there and he came into Patsy Cline's crazy song,
it was incredible.
Which, for anyone, like I was in a, we got it at my house. We had kids over and everything. They were watching it like, what is this guy doing? And no one wanted to see him win except me because I had bet a small amount on Fury plus 130. I just thought he was going to win the fight. And then Wilder comes in that crazy whatever.
That's what he does. I mean,
yeah,
he always has these elaborate costumes.
Right, but
it was cool.
He says now the 40. I mean, like, is anyone buying the excuse?
Why make excuses?
Just stop. You got beat.
You know what I mean?
You got hit in the ear.
Yeah, and it messed
you up.
And that was
you had a cut coming from your ear. It obviously screwed up his equilibrium because he could not get his legs.
Yeah,
and he kept getting hit with that jab. Fury just kept popping him.
He never got backed up.
He never once
in his fight
kept coming.
He never got backed up, and then he didn't know what to do because Fury's feints give him so many problems. He can't get the right hand going because he's consistently moving. He's always doing all these extra movements, and he can't get the timing. And the minute he started missing, man, Fury was making him pay every time.
Making him pay.
I mean, man, what a fight! What a fight he put in.
It was
super impressed.
Unbelievable performance. The 5-way betting was amazing to me because.
Decision would have been massive, dude.
Yeah.
If Fury won by decision, my God,
yeah.
like the prop money on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost, or actually, no, we won.
No.
Won like a peanut on Fury by knockout and a peanut on the round that he won in.
Yeah.
But the actual like just betting on either fighter, I mean, we cleaned up on. Fury.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole
it was a monster
city did.
day for the books. It was just a monster day. But the 5-way betting I found ironic because people bet the draw. Like they consistently bet the draw, like it's going to happen again. It's so hard to happen once. It's going to happen twice, and they kept betting it and betting.
It's the safety in the Super Bowl.
It is. It's just one of those things.
But then you're not even getting close to the value.
No,
because boxing has that stigma of they're gonna do this and make another fight. So like you're getting 20-1 on something that should be like 90-1 or 125-1. So you're just throwing money away.
The old story is somebody taking a $10 bill and trying to make $1.50.
Yeah, it's not a good bet. Just there's a lot of shows out there, and we're gonna get to some things that are said and stuff. We're just always try to keep it real here. When you go to bet the draw on a fight, you probably shouldn't. It's just no value.
Go buy
if
a
you
steak.
Do it for fun,
have dinner.
It's just one of those things you just don't do.
Yeah.
But the 5-way betting was incredible. Before we move on, he did the rematch clause.
Yes.
What's the price? Can we sell it?
You can sell it because they're sellable.
Yeah.
Because Wilder's Wilder's lost one fight.
Right.
It's the only fight he ever lost. Dude,
He lost almost every round that he's fought this.
He did.
He knocked him down with an amazing shot.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, he has to fight. He can't let Fury back him up. That's the biggest thing. He's either going to stand there and trade with him, or he's got to get that jab. He's got to get going. Period. He has to throw a lot of it, and his condition has to be top notch. I don't think he was in the best shape. I think
he was tired from walking.
He
in
had
with
a bunch of extra weight
costume.
Yeah.
Next time he's doing the Tyson, he's just going to have the towel.
That's it.
Cut out. Fury minus 170.
Oh, well,
higher.
I think Westgate's $3.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was like not close. Like, and to Dave's point, if you take the first fight, Wilder's maybe won 3 rounds against this guy in like 19 rounds. Yeah. So
okay, that's why I don't make odds.
Well, it's funny. They opened it at 260 the night of the fight when I was just scrolling through Twitter and seeing what was going on, and I was like, "Wow, that seems low." And then it's $3. And the thing is, like, the same reason that I was like, Fury could win every round, but Wilder's, man, that punch, if he can land it, I mean, he can erase everything. So it's still not something I'm trying to bet, but
I
we'll
can't
see.
wait to see.
I really want to see Fury Joshua. That's the fight.
That's
I
the
see.
fight everybody.
But this is going to get in the way.
this-
But the cool thing is, I've heard it's in July.
This fight,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, it's a quick turnaround on purpose.
Right. Get it done.
So, yeah.
See what
They
happens.
said date,
Well,
exact date, and where
place
is not
still up for
Up
discussion.
for discussion. But yeah, apparently the rematch is in July,
Oh, it won't be here.
so we'll get it quick.
I don't think it'll be
No?
here. No, I wish it would.
Mm.
I wish it would, but I don't know if they can
Maybe New York,
do that quick turnaround like
because
that.
they've done LA, they've done Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back east.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know.
They go to UK.
Wow. That'll be a monster.
They'd be a
If
monster
it's
there.
Yeah.
Wembley.
Ooh.
Well, I think they're saving. They got to save that for Joshua
Joshua.
Fury. But the great point was, I can't remember what Ryder pointed it out. Apologize, but they were saying I don't think there's a big enough stadium in in the UK for Fury Joshua
Ooh.
because the demand will be just off the charts.
Oh, man.
Like when Joshua fought the guys he's been fighting, they sell out.
Right.
So what is Fury Joshua? The biggest heavyweight fight in the history of the country. Like, you know, the countries in that area. I mean, that's just crazy.
Let's move on from boxing to a little thought that Reynolds put out called the weirdest bets of the week. Things you see that maybe stuck out. I had tweeted one. You know, and we see big bets all the time. Mo, are you back with us? I don't know if Mo's still there. Okay, good. He's back.
No, I'm still,
Perfect. No, that's good. I
still
wanted to make
alive.
sure. You make enough bets and have a lot of things going on. Did you see anything? Have you seen anything recently, future-wise, anything at work or anything that you personally played that you just kind of go, wow, is that for real? Or something sticks out to you at all?
I mean, it's not like any legitimate bet as it is, but I mean, a lot of these people that combine these future parlays are insane. Like, I mean, they're connecting them. They're connecting them the first half for the day, maybe like an overnight that we'll have up, and then
wow.
Tigers to win the Central or something like in that type of order, you know. Or they'll combine like Tiger Woods to a whole bunch of games for the day. It's really just the parlays that intrigue me. They keep me alive. I think that's why I'm still going.
That's crazy. I didn't know you could parlay daily stuff with the future stuff. So you can do that
man.
there. Oh, wow. So you guys are really just letting it fly. That's awesome. That probably amounts for some crazy possible red numbers, right? I mean,
I feel like, oh, yeah, no, dude. 100%, man. But, I mean, like, we cherish it. We want people to do, you know, like, the kids are just having fun. They're having fun, man.
Okay.
They're loving it.
The kids are having fun.
Yeah.
That's a great term.
So like
it, man.
I have a couple here that I just wanted to mention, you know, like, I mean, you know, during fight week, people come in and just want to bet. So we have somebody walk in and want to bet 54,000 and win 40 on Wilder. Okay, let's get the bet, you know, big bets. Then the crazy bets I have, I mean, like, you see bets on teams to win the World Series all the time. Like, people were betting the Kansas City Royals to win the World Series. They're in town for whatever, like, seriously. Whether it's $10, $20, it's whatever it is. The Royals aren't winning the World Series.
We had some lunatic that wanted to bet them to win the AL Central.
Yeah,
I think it was right, and for like a lot. And we're like, dude, we want to give you a fair bet, but my God, like,
right.
you know,
you can't.
Yeah, it's like even if we know that's a free, like, you know, 4Gs or whatever,
Right.
like, we're not gonna maybe lose it 4 million or whatever the odds were.
Right.
Yeah.
What are they to win the division? Probably.
No, it's just
100 to
stupid.
1?
I think we had even higher.
Did you really?
But
Wow.
we lowered it now
Okay.
because of that bet we took
Right.
from this dude. But we're just like,
And that's what maybe people listening to the show don't always understand. Like, we can't just continue to, I mean, always just take your bet.
right, because eventually we lose one of them.
And
And
you
then
get
all the
fired.
work. Yeah, it's the
and
exact
it's-
opposite of why we tell people not to lay big chalk. Because while you're going to win all the time you lose, like we have this dude that bets like, we had a dude that bet like a 6-figure chalk college basketball team to win like $800.
Yeah.
It's 6 figures on that.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it was the team that was bet on that was more insane than the amount of money that was wasted.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. Obviously, we're not bringing it up. But
I
my
saw
God.
a $10 bet on Duke Moneyline minus 2,000.
To win a nickel.
To
And
win
like a literal nickel,
50
right?
cents.
Oh, 50 cents. So
You
2
win
quarters.
50 cents. You win 2 quarters. Like, and it was so funny because I tweeted that out, and then somebody actually underneath it, you know, posted a comment that said, sometimes you just got to see a shot go in.
Yeah.
like why are you,
You
doing
gotta
that?
have a winner.
And you got to have a winner. And again, so that's the crazy part of this business that we see and we kind of enjoy and laugh about. But at the same time, not advocating those type of bets, but you don't always understand the other side of it. And it's sometimes when you go to the window and you want to bet the Royals to win the World Series or win the division for 5,000, you can't, because people have bosses and people have responsibilities as well. And you can't just, whether you think you're going to win or we think as the book we're going to win, there's limitations.
Well, because every 20 years, there's a team that should have won 60 games that somehow wins 97 and they win the division. And now you have to explain to your boss why
right.
you lost $3 million on a $4,000 bet,
Right.
and there's no answer for that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter that you won 19 of the 20 years that you
Yeah.
took that bet.
Right. The answer is pack your stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
$4,000 in 19 years does not make $4 million or
No.
$5 million or whatever.
No,
so.
it's Lamar Jackson winning the NFL MVP.
Yeah, if you took
on a
like
small
10
stuff,
racks
you
on
took-
that.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he can't win.
Yeah, he can't win.
He can't win. He's
a wide
quarterback.
receiver.
So, Mo, I don't know if you saw this story. HP, I don't know if you saw this story. I know you did because we mentioned it. Let's get this in real quick. First of all, the Knights, the hockey, I'm just going to throw this in right now. They are playing Stanley Cup level hockey. They made a move to get a backup goalie, affected the odds. They are now the co-favorite in a lot of places to win the Stanley Cup. Books all over, not just out here, back east as well. One of the top teams in the West. So keep an eye on that. That was a great game. Possible Stanley Cup preview. I mentioned it on the show last week against the Lightning. They ended up winning the game. I said the line would be Knights favored. They actually came dogs, which made them a play automatic. So the benefit of mentioning that is do your numbers. Like, have numbers.
Definitely.
Holy shit, Mo, are you singing right now? What the hell is happening?
He's playing Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think I feel like I can't hear it, but you guys can hear it. It's a weird deal
Okay.
going on.
All right. You're good right there. Okay. So, are you the Zamboni driver? That's what I want to know. Who is our backup goalie, our backup to our backup, if things go bad? Because that guy came in, if you don't know the story, in Carolina. Starter got hurt, backup came in. Backup got hurt. They go to the guy that drives the Zamboni, put the pads on, and go play.
Actually, it was in Toronto, and the guy worked for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And he was wearing the blue Maple Leafs pants with the white Carolina jersey.
And the
backup,
Toronto
the
helmet.
emergency goalie is
Zamboni driver.
yeah, at the home
Is that real?
ice.
That's a
yeah,
real story? What you
42
say?
years old.
42 years old, and he's an employee of the home team, but he has to play, for the team that needs him. At the time, it turned out Carolina. They won the game 6-3.
He gave
They
up
had
2
it-
goals on the first 2 shots.
First two
right?
shots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his reaction time was a bit slow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit.
How does that work? How does that even he's just employed but he can play for the team? I don't understand.
Isn't it the most insane thing ever? Like, I was like, okay, this is a cool story and all, but like, shouldn't we clean up rules that were from 1930? Like, are you kidding me? I'm
Dude,
like, this guy who played,
taking a
like, he's employed by the other team and he's playing goalie for the other team. Like, what is happening? Like, I couldn't believe it.
That's like if you were at the UNLV football game and they pulled you out to kick.
Yeah, they were just like, "Hey, kid, what's going on,
Yeah.
man? Like, are you ready to suit up?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I am. I
Let
would
me
say
stretch.
yes, no matter what. Actually, I don't care what sport it is. I would play it anyway.
After your fourth
I
beer.
would not care.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
without question. Yeah,
Mo-
if
Mo-
I'm
Mo-
already on it at that time.
Motoi looks at the holder and he's like, yo, man, we're going to run a fake. Pitch me the ball.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
just
going, we're going
fumble it.
deep.
Fumble it and yell fire, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna make moves here. Yeah,
Give me
Yeah,
the
we'll be
rock.
But I was like, it was a cool moment, but isn't that ridiculous? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
yeah. I
Like,
can't
why
believe it.
isn't the defenseman dress up in like pads and play goalie?
Did you also read that Eric Holla came over to him, the guy who used to be on the Knights and now he's on the Hurricanes, after the second goal, and he's like, kid, don't worry. Everything will be okay. Just keep fighting.
That's funny.
I don't know. I mean, I know I played forward my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have asked me,
To play goalie, I get it.
I would have
It's-
shit my pants.
it's like you-
I don't think there was anything good that can come
It's like
from
an
it.
offensive lineman having to kick the ball. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's that crazy. But I'm still saying at least that person plays for the team. Like,
I don't
What was
know.
like,
awesome?
can you imagine having money on that game and you're like, wait, the Marlies guy is going to go play for the Hurricanes? Like, why would he not want the Leafs to win?
And that's the whole tie into this whole thing is the gambling aspect of it,
Yeah.
because that's what we talk about. We always have that angle. And I was thinking, shit, you would have unloaded everything you
Dude,
had
I was thinking so many
on
people
the in-game,
Had to
right?
go down on that. Had to. Like, if anybody, like, I'm sure that was more like a Canadian thing than anything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like the dudes who have like probably like Canadian offshore accounts are like, how much can I
Fired.
get down on the Leafs right now?
Right.
And then they got the 2 goals and they're
Yeah.
going, oh man, I
Easy.
got this, and then they lose.
And then the
they're
guy
like,
walks in the
wait.
locker room and he gets showered with the water bottles.
Oh,
That was-
unreal.
In the visiting locker room.
It was awesome. Yeah. As far as the rule goes, it so never comes into play that I guess there hasn't been a need to change it. But now maybe there is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
I
at this
think,
point. But,
yeah.
you know, but again, when the gambling aspect comes of it, like, you might hear some more kind of like, wait a second.
Well, and
you
I
gotta-
looked at it like, okay, this is the time they can point to and say, oh, no, see, this time it worked.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
this rule needs to be completely abolished. This is ridiculous. This is 2020, man.
Oh.
We got to figure out something better than pulling the Zamboni driver for the other team. Come on.
Mo, before we let you go, I wanted to see if you had a take a minute segment, either a takeaway from your trip or something to look forward to this week. Anything you got, if you want to, the floor is yours.
Oh man, have you guys already done yours, or what's going on right now?
No. We're going to have you go, and then I'm going to let you go off the phone so we can finish up the show. I mean, I don't
know
want
if I
to put
have
you on the
anything.
spot. You got nothing?
I feel like I'm always on the spot every day of my life. I'll talk about the trip.
Every minute.
It was
All right, ready?
every moment. Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Yeah, Lexington was the entertainment aspect of it was probably way crazier than I imagined. I guess there was like a bunch of new bars and spots downtown, and I probably drank as much gin and tonics as I ever had in my life. With that being said, I called Dave when I was down there, and I told him some things that I've seen on Twitter that I'm not going to bring up now. I'd just like to bring up Dave in this since he's putting me on the spot. So, yeah, I'm in every minute of it as well. But
Okay.
yeah, with that being said, I feel like people should be traveling more. Moral of this minute take.
Amen.
So yeah,
Change of scenery.
We need more days off.
Right.
yes,
Absolutely. More days off. Not no days off like
Yeah,
Belichick. More days off.
yeah,
More
yeah,
days
yeah,
off.
yeah. More days off. Yeah.
I was
Good
the
op-
beneficiary of a drunk dial from Mo. It was an outstanding phone call. Everything you said was probably true, but
Oh man, it's a fact.
we'll leave it
baby.
at that
It's a fact.
and won't move forward on the show. Mo, thanks, brother. Get back to work. We'll talk to you later.
All right, I'll talk to you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. So that was Mo. HB, anything here for take a minute you want to mention? Sure. On the way out, what do you got?
We're a few weeks away from March Madness. Alan, you can back off. And if you came to Las Vegas through the years, because we were the only legal sports betting city, and we were able to handle all of the big parties and hoorah for March Madness. If you're not coming here, take a personal day from work, call in sick, and do it at your local sports book. The camaraderie and the fun is irreplaceable. Get out with your boys and girls and go enjoy it, especially that Thursday and first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, because it's dawn to dusk. It's a lot of fun. Make a plan. Enjoy life. Work will always be there. Bye.
There it is. That's Howard Barish at Gaming Today News on Twitter. His takeaway, I agree. There's nothing like it. Not even Super Bowl, not anything like those first 2 days. And it kind of carries into the weekend, but there's just less games.
When there's 10 seconds and Belmont is down 25 and needs a bucket to cover, and that buzz starts to swell in a sports book, there's nothing like it.
Oh, yeah. No, there's an energy in there. I mean, and like now even the first of 15 has helped at the beginning. There's a lot of bets that are made during March Madness, the first weekend or the first 4 days, that aren't made all season.
Right.
And it provides an energy. So for those of you coming, welcome. Hope you have seats. Hope you have your arrangements already made because it's going to be tight. Get the apps. Same thing, same messages we had for the Super Bowl. Get here early. Do your deposits. Get your apps so you have alternate outs. Don't ideally wait in lines because there's going to be lines and places are going to be packed. So just go forward with there. Alan, anything for Take a Minute segment?
I got nothing.
Excellent. Good work, sir. All right. I don't even think I'm going to take a whole full minute. Before I do, I just wanted to mention we didn't say anything about baseball today. The Astros hit by pitch season prop at William Hill down to 81. Back east, they're already below 80. We gave out under 83.5 for the entire bankroll managers that I would ever had. I wanted to dump all in There is no way in hell that thing's going over. Still stand by that number. It's dropping. Although Altuve got hit in his first at-bat. Spring training.
Yeah,
He
don't
got
be so sure.
But it was spring training. So, we'll see. 3, 2, 1. Yesterday, my battery in my car went. And I didn't know. Hasn't happened to me for a long time. Called the roadside assistance to come get a jump because I was home by myself. Guy comes with a handheld thing. Have you seen this? You've seen this.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't know. He put it on, charged it up, said, all right, start it. Same noise. Nothing. Yeah, just, okay, battery's dead, buddy. Really? You came all this way with this? You don't have cables? I don't have cables. That's why I called you. The cables are in my wife's car, of course. I don't have the fucking cables. So the next guy came an hour later, put the jumper cables on, conventional jumper cables. Car started right up, drove it, and got the battery replaced. If a guy shows up, if your battery dies and he has that portable thing, tell him to get the fucking cables because I don't think those things work. And the driver of the tow truck actually said that to me. If a guy comes, if you ever do that again, tell him to get the cables because those things don't work. So public service announcement, if your battery dies, don't use that. Minute over. Show over. Let's sorry Reynolds. I thought I was at a minute.
It was the backup guy. You had to.
Yeah.
Been close on anything yet today.
Oh, it's
Terrible job by you.
everybody has one of those weeks. We all have those.
We all got our stuff.
Yep. Before we go, I just want to mention that we always talk about the Gaming Today digital subscription, which I mentioned earlier, $6.95 a month or $75 annually. But we should also mention how it all got started. The Vintage Gaming Today print edition can be found in virtually every sportsbook in Nevada, as well as sportsbooks and casinos in 9 other states. You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, selections, gaming industry news, casino news, and more. From Oregon to Pennsylvania, it's Gaming Today in vintage print form. If your favorite book doesn't carry it, ask management to contact support@gamingtoday.com. New markets opening up all the time. Please get in touch with them. Get the paper. For the boys, I'm going to sign everybody off. Reynolds, producing the show. Beanie on. Great job, as always, putting it all together. Mo, for joining us over the phone at HeD's Takes. Howard, HB, Howard Barish, at Gaming Today News. Alan Berg, at Percent Berg. For myself, at SportsBK Consig. And the show is at GT Cash Consider. Please follow the show, share the show, rate the show, even review the show. We appreciate you guys listening. Next show will be March. Full-on college basketball talk. Start preparing yourself now. We